Hey, hey! What's up, everybody? Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, those are pretty cool, right? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me turn these back on. There we go. Yeah, the cameras are I don't know. It's just something to pass the time. There you go. Give you something new to look at. All right, it is time. Let me make sure this works.
Call the show.
Uh-oh. Gotta get excited. Gotta fire myself up about this. Okay.
Now, one BDM said he hates this.
Oh, it was anonymous.
Yeah,
I know who it was. Should I tell
Oh.
the Twitch people?
Well,
It's very, very controversial. We can talk about it. Let's talk about this. This is the way we should start it. Yeah. This is
okay.
how you
Well,
start it.
we won't start until we get a
A
first
call.
live
Oh, that's
call.
your rule. I forgot about that. Sorry.
But
I'm sorry.
It's
I apologize. I was kind of disrespectful. I didn't remember you said that.
We'll talk about that because obviously your opinion's your opinion. Everything's subjective, so there can't be a right or wrong if you hate something. You know what I'm saying? It can't be like
Not according to
you're
this
wrong.
guy. This guy says it's right or wrong, and because he.
Well, damn.
I even told him that the majority of the comments on the BDM page were in favor of it, and he's like, no.
Well, the problem is he just says I hate it, but we need a reason.
Well, let me check our phones. Yep, that one's good.
Because what's odd to me is that
Oh, okay. All right, we got him.
it wildly jumps from topic to topic depending on the caller or whatever, that you have to let us know what you hate about it. Do you hate about the wild jumping topics? Because that happens every show.
No.
The callers?
He did say, he said that he thought the callers were all stupid and drunk and everything that they say is dumb.
Okay, so he just hates the callers.
Yeah.
So
But
that's
this person also doesn't realize that he does the same thing with his posts.
but that's what's weird too, is that we do most of the talking.
Yeah.
So
he hates us.
but if you hate us,
that's what a
Then
sensitive person would say.
well, that's easy. Then but I know that's not true. You're a BDM and you're even
pay money.
You're bothering to post on the show. So,
1-844-TOMNDAN. 1-844-TOMNDAN. All callers are welcome. We would love to have you call. Tom's rule is that we can't start call Thursdays until we have a call. If we don't get a call and we never start call Thursdays, by the end of the sundown, it's almost like a mystical amulet. We never do it again. Right? If we don't get a call by the end of sundown,
I mean, this will
then
die.
the powers last forever.
This will die eventually.
Paloma Blue said, Tom traumatized me years ago. I will never call again. And Paloma's in there all the time.
Okay, why? What did I do to you?
But how many people could say that? There's so many people that have been traumatized by you.
Yeah, but don't you know me when I'm giving you shit? You know that's out of love. That's how I get
Now,
love.
Ryan
if you give me
says-
shit, I'm like, oh, this guy likes me.
Ryan says the first thing he thinks about when he wakes up on Thursdays is live call Thursdays. Now he's just mocking us. I have spinach in my teeth. Can you see it right there?
No, I don't.
It's in there. I
never
can't get it
noticed
out.
anything.
I had a good salad. That was a good salad today. I'm too picky about my food. I need to be like you. You can eat anything.
Well, not really. I just eat the same shit every day.
No. I think I got you the wrong thing yesterday, and I forgot to tell you. Just because they didn't have the buffalo one, and I asked the lady, she's like, "We don't do that today. We're doing black
Oh
bean."
yeah. I'll just eat anything. you
Yeah,
give
that's
me
what I
there.
said. I just gave it to you. It looked good. It didn't look bad.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I don't even care how
I'm
it
just
is.
way too picky.
As long as it doesn't taste like human feces, I'll eat it. Can't get through human feces. Like, get through fish.
Oh, we have a call.
Okay.
Thank you for calling Live Call Thursdays. Who's this?
Hey, it's Chad from Gainesville.
All right, hold
hey,
on
can
one
you
second.
hold on? You got to hold the line, and then we got to do the whole spiel and play the song and everything, okay?
Let's do it.
All right, buddy. Hold on. All right, you start.
And I'll start with the Happy President's Day and all the whole thing.
Yep. You do sing.
Yeah.
3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on YouTube and Twitch. Come check us out.
We hope you guys are enjoying your President's Day.
Hey!
Hopefully you have the day off.
Favorite holiday ever.
Maybe a lot of people get President's Day off, right?
I honestly don't know. I don't
except
even know. I mean, I don't think in terms of that anymore because you and I own our own business. And there are very few days that we really adhere to. Like, we work all the time or we don't work. So I have no rhyme or reason. Like, holidays don't apply to me anymore.
It does stink that the worse your job is, the less days off you get.
Yeah, it's true.
Like the more money you make, the more days off you get.
Yeah.
It should be opposite.
Like Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, he was like, it's funny that as I've gotten rich and famous, all the bass manufacturers send me free stuff. He would say that. He would say,
the richer I am, the more free stuff
I get.
I
I needed these bass guitars when I was a young, struggling, musician. Now don't need them. Here, have one. Don't even get. They have no value to me.
Yeah. And if you get soon, you get so rich, you could just bring your kid to the president's office.
Yeah.
And do it and pick his nose.
And then he says, as he's picking his nose, he says, "You shut your mouth. I'm the president," or something like that. Did he say that? He said something like, "You not the president. You shut your mouth." I'm like, well, this is good.
You're gonna laugh at it.
Yeah, this is great.
So we're doing some live calls. Hit
you
it.
Ready? Let's do it.
Call the show.
What's the number?
1-844 Tom and Dan.
I didn't get that.
1-844 Tom and Dan.
Say it again now.
1-844 Tom and Dan.
That's the top of that.
All right, we're doing some live calls. Caller 1. What's your name?
Yo, hey, it's Chad.
What's going on, Chad? Hey, Chad, real quick, are you offended or bummed out that people are now using your name as the
lowest form of low, right?
Well, there's a stereotypical, I guess, white dude.
The Giga Chad.
The dilly white dude that just like is very mid and
and very sus.
Yeah. It's all good. I'm not offended.
Okay, that's good. I like that. I like how tough you are.
Are you that dude, though?
Yeah.
Or is it accurate?
Yeah.
Because that's got to be more offended.
Well, that is the follow-up. You have to follow up with that. Is that, are you not offended because you fit it to a T and you're like, I know what I am?
Yeah. Like, do you break the mold of Chads, or are you pretty much a Chad?
Are you a Chad Plus?
Yeah, I don't think I'm a Chad, in that spectrum. I just let it go,
Okay. You don't you don't give much thought to it. What's on your mind today? Why you're calling?
Oh, I've been wanting to call on Thursday. Just taking a break from work, selling beer.
What kind of beer? What kind of beer do you sell?
Beverages.
Do you sell craft beer, or do you sell good old, or do you sell Hulk Hogan's All-American Lager beer?
Oh, no. That one, I can't sell that one because it's terrible. But I sell Anheuser-Busch products and other craft stuff. Yeah, Cigar City and a lot of local stuff.
We do have another call. I did engage this person. I will ask the person on the line to please hold while we talk to Chad.
So, Chad, do you just go around from like bar and restaurant and like gas stations or in like?
Yeah, you got a truck?
Yeah, that's my typical day in my work truck, and got about 50 accounts, and throughout the week, hit 12 to 15 a day.
You ever thought about going in the back with like one of the more attractive managers of a convenience store and, having at it, Because you do have a rapport, and and you're there early in the mornings. I've always thought about that.
Have you seen attractive managers at convenience stores?
Yeah. The one I go to is very attractive. Extremely.
Mostly, like, last name Patel is there, so if you can imagine that. But, they're
what
hot.
The hell's that supposed to mean, you racist?
Yeah. There's,
I don't.
Chad knows about stereotypes.
Yeah,
he's
does,
one of them.
But when it comes
he's
to,
like, I'm a Chad. That's a Patel.
But when it comes to female managers, I'll tell you right now, I like them all. I do not discriminate, sir.
I think there's probably 1% of convenience stores are managed by females.
I think you're gonna be off on that.
Really?
Yeah, I do. The
well,
confidence.
maybe the
you s-
manager.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be way off on that because
Maybe
the
the
two I
manager.
frequent. I mean, just doing the math on what I know. So I'm doing Orlando Friend Syndrome. The two I go to are
You're right.
both ladies.
You're right. I guess the manager. I'm thinking like owners, maybe.
You just got thrown off because it's manager, and you're like, look, I get it, I get it. So where are you hitting today? What's going on today? Any problems that we can help you with or make you more efficient, possibly at your job?
I don't think so. Man, selling beer is super easy, and I've been doing it 8 years, and I just love it.
This
Nothing
is
to
kind
it,
of what the
and now we
Facebook
work.
person was talking about, right? Should I hang up on
Hey,
that?
Chad, get out of
Yeah, get
here.
outta here.
Next
Yeah.
caller.
Thank you for calling Live Call Thursdays featuring Tom and Dan. This is Dan speaking. How may I direct your call?
Hi, I called to guess one of the 6 things that Gary hates about the live call on Thursday.
You got it. Yeah, that is one of the 6 things. Hold on. Let me send you to a drunkie's prize cave. Please hold.
All right, well, the medium who hated it, it was Gary?
It was Gary.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Of course it was Gary. Are you kidding? Of
Yeah,
course it's Gary.
it was 100% Gary. And then he started arguing with me, and I vowed to never talk about anonymous posters ever again and ever give their name out after I did give out Charles's name one time. And he got real mad. He called a couple of Live Call Thursdays ago.
Yeah.
Charles called to confront me, and we have since patched it up. And Charles is in a really good place now. I think hopefully his daughter's on the mend. I know he's struggling with that. But then I vowed in that show to never do it again, and I've broken my promise now.
That's fine.
I've broken my promise, but I feel like with Gary it doesn't count. Thanks for calling Live Call Thursdays. What's up?
Oh, signal tech. Signal tech?
Hold on. Don't leave yet. Okay, don't leave. I want you to.
Okay.
I want you to say. I want to hear your real voice in shame. I want to hear it. What's your real voice sound like?
Oh, this is Vince. I'm the single dad that called in last week.
No,
You're
okay.
still at it. You're still at it. Haven't learned your
Yeah.
lesson yet.
You know what? It takes a lot of guff
It
to call in a radio show
Guts
or
or guff?
podcast.
Takes a lot of guff.
Guff, okay.
I've never heard it takes a lot of guff. Nobody said, like, this guy's going to get in there and get it done. You know why? Because he's got the guff. No one has said that.
Well, I mean, True Leave helps a lot. So
Sir,
I
have
mean,
you
that's
ever heard?
usually.
Sir, have you ever heard somebody say, you know what? He was Audie Murphy, decorated Army soldier, was brave and ran into World War II. Might have been one because he had pure guff, fueled by pure guff. He ran into battle.
All right, use the wrong word. Not guff.
I'm giving you guff about it. See, I'm giving you the guff. I'm the guff. I'll give you the guff. Get out of here, sir. Hold on, hung up on him. We got a new guy. Talk to the new guy.
Sir, what's your name? Is this Guff?
Who is this? Is this Guff on the line?
No, this is Clark from Raleigh.
Okay, Clark from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm up here right now.
Ah, right on, man. You know what's funny? We got a lot of Carolina listeners.
There's some sort of bizarre tie-in between Florida and Carolina.
Yeah.
That's like
Dude, absolutely.
it's our like cousin.
Yeah.
The state. I feel like there's a lot of people that bought land in Carolina.
And there's ski boats up there too.
yeah. I think it's the ski boats.
There's ski boats. Hold on, it's the ski boat connection. That's
Yes.
because my cousin. Scotty,
Yeah.
he has a ski boat, and when he goes out on his ski boat, there's mountains, and it's cool.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah,
mountains
yeah.
on the side. It's cool.
Yeah. No gators in the water, but the water's cold.
Too cold.
That
It's
just
too cold.
Freezing.
You got to pick your battles. What do you want? The mountains, or you want the cold in the cold ass water, or do
Yeah.
you want like perfect water?
Yeah.
But too many boat cops here.
Yeah.
Less boat cops in the Carolinas. Or wait, sir, less boat cops or no?
Yeah, there's not a lot of boat cops on the lakes.
That's what I thought.
But not that many boats. It's freezing water. You're skiing and you fall. You're like, oh!
What's on your
You'd
mind?
be surprised. There's about 10 boats that sit around my house that people don't use for basically as much as you do.
All right, it's just like Florida.
yeah.
You get a boat, you don't use it.
Lake Tom. So what's on your mind
We
today?
got the link again.
Yeah.
How's Raleigh treating you?
Pretty good. I'm up here visiting my dad right now. Just left out of Florida and moving over to the farm here pretty soon.
Raleigh, named after the last name Raleigh, which is much like anyone else would have been like Henry Flagler or Rockefeller. The Raleighs were instrumental, and this sort of ties in, to the steel industry on the east coast of the Carolinas. and one of the first ever major steel producing families of all time, the Raleighs. I made all of that up. It's all fake. It's all fake.
You know, I'm kind of upset, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems I haven't heard much about this, but there's not as much of a war against North and South Carolina of, like, who's better. Like, I want them to be more competitive.
Well, North Carolina is certainly better. South Carolina is, like, so trashy.
Well, that's what I think.
No, it's true.
Okay, well,
You've never driven through South Carolina? It's awesome, don't get me wrong, but the North is the fancier Carolina.
Well, I thought they were basically the same.
I have to go north. I have relatives that are from North Carolina, so it's in my blood. South Carolina, I don't have any of that, so I'm a North Carolinian.
Is it established that North Carolina is better than South Carolina?
I'll let him answer.
Oh, God, yes. Absolutely, 100%. North Carolina's technology and everything, when, 2008, before the market crashed, they exploded, and they've recovered, so.
Yeah, I mean.
And then as well, the only good thing about South Carolina is south of the border. I mean.
Yeah, South Carolina, just think it's the reverse of Korea. So the Carolinas, the Carolinas are south is bad, north is good.
Okay.
But Korea, it's the opposite.
So, sir, what do you do for a living?
Drive and work on tugboats.
Tugboats?
Yeah, I drag shit around on the water. Oh, sorry.
No,
sorry.
you're fine. I got you. So you basically work on Jelly Roll's toilet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Number one favorite thing about a tugboat is they use tires around the front to bump into stuff.
Yeah.
I like that there's no official bumper for a tugboat. They're like, we'll just use tires, and then they used it forever.
It looks cooler. It looks cooler. It's got a Mad Max. It's got like a Mad Max thing.
Yeah, but
the tire's an old rope.
Okay. yeah. You think they can? There's enough tugboats out there. They can specifically manufacture some sort of rubber bumper for tugboats.
No.
But they just went tires.
That would look so out of place. If you saw a tugboat with a specialized tug bumper on it, you'd be like, "Get that the hell off of there! Give me some tires."
After 200 years of tugboats, you think they'd put some custom bumpers on there, not just some old junkyard tires.
Sir, I have a lot of dreams. I just don't talk about them as much as on the air because Tom hates them. But one of my dreams, and I brought it up to Tom one time on the show, was for us to buy a show tugboat. How much would it cost Tom and I to get in? We want to get in like a mid-level tug.
Yeah, like a 1980s.
Yeah. How much are we talking to get, I want to get tugging.
I mean, decent running shape, $250,000, maybe $350,000, something like that.
Oh,
that's a lot more expensive.
That's for a pretty bad boat.
All right. And
the boat I ride on is about a mil too.
A mil and a good God, man! Shoot me a picture of your tugboat.
So what are you tugging?
Well.
Oh, we should do a segment called "What You Tugging."
Hold on, sir. Hold on. Tom's talking, and he's great. That's a great idea. What you tugging?
Yeah.
And it could be a lot of things. It could be. Oh wow! I think we're only gonna get two answers.
We mostly got dongs. Sorry. Go ahead.
Tugging on Little Clark in the bathroom most of the time on the boat, and then I had to give you the answer. And then the rest of it, it's mainly just like bars.
I hung up on him for that.
Why'd you hang up?
I can't let that happen.
No. I wanted to know. You ruined what you're talking.
I did ruin it. I ruined it. I was willing to take the heat from you. But once he said to me, tugging on Little Clark, I had to give you the answer. I'm like, no, you didn't. And I hung up on him. That's how it works here. Do you want an actual reaction live call Thursdays? I got to be who I am, man.
You know what? I'm just turning this into Weird Job, which is not the
This is live Weird Job.
Yeah.
What if this
I had 10 other tugboat questions. I was like, how powerful is your tugboat?
This is like Black Mirror, where we both look where we both like realize we're looking at each other. In the Black Mirror, we both realize that the entire show, our show, is just live, only about jobs. It's like only people calling and talking about how they hate their jobs. We have another call.
All right.
hung up.
All
That's the
right,
problem sometimes with live call. Hey, while we're waiting possibly for another call, let's jump into something that I've been itching to talk about for a very long time because I love going through this stuff with you to see like what you know, what you don't know. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
The nominees are out, and it's the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations. So far, the two on here, and I don't think I can disagree with either. I'll give you the first one, Billy Idol.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Rebel Yell, White Wedding. I mean, very, very...
Surprised he's not even in there yet.
That's kind of what I thought, right?
But that happens where he could have been nominated multiple times before and just never got in.
No, he's a first-time nominee. So I'll spoil two of the first-timers that look like shoe-ins. The two, Billy Idol, number one. Number two, Outkast.
No, really? Okay.
I think you got to do that.
Yeah.
I think you got to put Outkast in there. Now, I wouldn't have agreed with that if there were no rappers in there, but we all know that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is like a broader kind of like it's like a popular music, you know.
It's not just about the actual genre.
And it
of rock
hasn't
and
been
roll.
for quite some time.
Yeah.
So just don't do any of that. Never look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as being like.
Are there pop stars in there?
Isn't Michael Jackson in there?
I think so.
Yeah, so the answer would be yes. Thanks for calling A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan Live Call Thursdays. Who's this?
My name's Possum.
Okay. So we'll continue.
Hold on, we asked for this.
No, this is what Gary was
I
talking
wanted to hear from Possum.
That's what Gary was talking about. Hey, thanks for calling Live Call Thursday. Is this Possum?
Is it who?
No. Okay, so I'm sorry.
Who is this?
Yeah, what's your name?
It's Paloma.
Paloma, you called in. Hey, thanks for calling in. We appreciate you calling in. Are you going to tell Tom what he did to scar you from ever calling the show again?
No, it's fine. I forgive him.
Okay.
We're moving on.
Did it have anything to do with asking you why your parents named you Paloma?
That's not my actual name.
Oh, okay.
That's how dumb he is.
Well, what the? I mean, how am I supposed to know? Daniel said Paloma's on the line. You're like, hello, Paloma here. I don't know what the hell people's names are. You call yourself that, I think it's your name.
No, I just don't want to say my name.
All right. So, Paloma, I was about to ask you what you did for your job.
No, don't want to say it.
You married?
I am married.
All right. How's that going?
It's going great. That's why I was calling, because I wanted to give you a reminder that Valentine's Day is tomorrow.
Did you do anything? I haven't done anything.
We are. We're going. Oh, well.
No, go ahead. Tell me. Go ahead.
We're going to a Michelin restaurant tonight.
Oh, it's like better than going to the Michelin tire plant. that would kind of suck, right? Yeah. Or we're going to Michigan. Like, that's not good either.
You know how much it bothers me that Michelin ratings are still a thing, even though it was invented because of the amount of wear on your tire.
Yeah, because you'd have to travel for the better restaurants.
Yeah, in the 1920s or whatever the hell. And it's like, it's still in 2025, like Michelin rated. I'm like...
We could go off of James Beard Awards if you wanted to. You could go off of, you could use something else. Oh, grumpy old man.
I'm just saying, like, but it's so antiquated that has to do with your tire wear.
Now, what are you gonna eat, Paloma? Like, did you already look at the menu? Do you already kind of know what you're gonna dial in?
Yes, we already planned it. We're like Andrea. We have everything planned out, and we're going with some other couples. So.
Oh, is there any chance?
Hold on,
maybe...
you pre-look at the menu before you go?
Oh, I do that too.
Of course.
What the hell?
So you know what you're gonna get.
No, that's what you do at the time, and they hand you the menu.
No.
You look, and you're like, whoa.
Not enough time.
That's part of the experience.
No,
Not enough time. They leave, and then they come back.
I've always thought it was impressive when they bring the menu down, and you look at them, and you're like, oh, no, I know it by heart.
No, that's part of
I already know what I'm getting.
That's part of the experience. You're taking away.
Part of the experience. What have you ever been into part of the experience?
No, it's like Act 1. It's like where you have to go into
Act 1? You've never made it through Act 1.
You get the menu, you look for the first time. You're like, whoa.
What kind of food are you getting, Paloma?
It's sushi.
Okay, I like it. I hope you're going to one of my favorite places. Man, get a Hedachino white. Get a white ale to go to wash it down.
Oh, I think we are talking about the same.
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. It's my wife and I's favorite. Like that's one of our favorite sushi places. Get that
Cool.
Hitachino white on draft. I'll drink about 12 of those. Pass out in the car when she's driving me home.
Oh, what sushi place is it?
Well, I don't want to blow up her spot, but are you going to? Okay, Kabuki. Are you going to Kabuki?
We are going to Kabuki.
Kabuki's the
All
bomb.
right.
I mean, shout out to Kabuki. That's my place. My daughter loves Kabuki. My wife likes Kabuki.
Is that the one that Mo likes?
Mo likes Kabuki.
Okay, we gotta
Cadillac
give-
Pat. Remember I saw Cadillac Pat at
Yeah,
Kabuki, and they are. It's an amazing restaurant. Boy, you're gonna have a good. You're gonna have a wonderful Valentine's Day. You outdid me. I have nothing planned, my lady.
So Paloma,
Yes.
how romantic is your husband? And we're going to talk about this on Valentine's Day AMT, but Crystal constantly tells me I'm not romantic and I don't do anything like romantic at all. But I
don't think I really roll out the romance either, buddy. I mean,
and then I tell him, I'm like, no, I don't think anybody does.
I give compliments. I do give compliments. I tell my wife she's beautiful, stuff like that. But I don't really. I'm not. I'm not like. I don't know.
It's like someone like you don't run as fast as Usain Bolt. They're like no one does.
Yeah.
But I think romance is a spectrum, and Tom is at the far end of the spectrum.
Yeah. This guy's bringing his kid to the White House. He can't do nothing. He's doing Nazi salute this, Nazi salute that. And, then he's tweeting. He's selling a swastika shirt online. Then he's telling everybody he's autistic.
No, but I'm saying, what does your husband do that's so romantic?
Well, I will say he did make reservations at Kabuki.
No, Paloma did that.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn
No,
it.
so actually, my husband, I almost said his name. We've
Don't.
been married for 20 years, and it's basically Tom Part 2. He's not romantic at all. Like,
Tom
he doesn't-
Part 2, that's worse than Tom, I'll tell you that. Because the sequel's always worse.
He's awful.
Well, I'm here to tell you, Paloma, there's a lot of Toms out there. That's what I try to tell Crystal. And I'm like, I'm
There
just
are
like
a lot of bad people out there.
I'm just like everybody else. No one's romantic. That's how the world works.
However, he is Latino, so he is a lot more affectionate than.
Oh, yeah, the Latin guys. They're
probably
grabby.
No, he's just more horny. I'm horny too.
That guy's snapping your thong at Walmart.
Yeah, you want me to grab your Paloma? I'll do that. I'm horny too.
Yeah, you want me to spit in your mouth when we get in the car?
I grew up in Miami.
Yeah.
I'm just as horny as all the Latin guys down there.
Sometimes I like to shoot my gut out of the sunroof just to feel alive as we're driving home from dinner.
Has your romance improved at all in the last couple of years since you started working out?
Yeah, that's a good question. She has great questions. Great question, Paloma.
Well, the romance isn't in my muscles. It's in my. It's in my take your kid to the White House brain. It has nothing to do. I didn't change how I act and think. I mean, maybe my wife.
The way you think did change some.
Yeah, the way you think is you've made a lot of improvements, buddy. You really
No,
have.
that's
You have.
Well, my discipline. I was like, I got more discipline. God, if I only use that for romance.
Exactly. You've got
I don't
discipline.
discipline. I mean, like romance is a little more like it's a little more like you improv. Why don't you try improving some romance in the bedroom?
What's that to do with the bedroom? I can't even get to the bedroom. No romance. You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying. Yeah, it's a bigger problem.
I can get to the bedroom. I could.
But she's not there.
no.
You're in there by yourself with the door shut.
And I got some stamina now. I can run 8 miles.
Not me. Oh my God, I'm done before I start, and I'm huffing and puffing.
It has nothing to do with that. It's just I can't get it going. I can't even get to the track. To run.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because track's closed.
Yeah.
Because I didn't.
Moose should have told you, track's closed.
I didn't get the locks wet enough.
That's a.
Well, this call was your reminder.
Fail.
You can just pick up some flowers or something on the way home.
She hates flowers.
24 hours.
No,
I
don't get
can
her
do
flowers. No, that's a trap.
I do that all the time. That's easy, but it's more than that. It's like some flowers at Winn-Dixie. I could do that every day.
What's the one thing you could do, you think, that would, like, truly be... Is there something she's ever, like, in an argument, in the heat of the moment, has she ever said one thing that you remember that you think that if you did it, it would show her that you actually were listening to her pleas?
Here's the thing. She wants it to be real. She doesn't want me to make a reminder on my phone. Tell your wife she's pretty today.
Yeah,
And then it goes off, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
like, hey, you are pretty today. I'm reading it. And then she's like, what? And then
You're reading that. It's not real.
And she's like, you just want to get it tonight. That's the only reason you're saying it. You know, like, and then she's like, you're just reading your reminder. She wants me to actually come up with it.
And then you also have another reminder to tell her, no, I'm not. You have a secondary reminder that comes in and he's like, tell
What
her you're... Okay, go ahead.
What if you did do all the, take her out to dinner, flowers, but then you didn't push her to finish at the end of the night, do anything for you at the end of the night?
Well, what am I even doing it for?
That's true.
What am I doing all this work for?
I'm not going to go there and act like a gentleman and then get home and what? And then just meditate and go to sleep?
It's called intimacy.
You think I'm in here because I'm podcasting for free? I'm going to make my living
if
doing
I were
it.
rich, I wouldn't be doing this crap. I hate doing this.
I hate
this place.
I'm talking to you. I got to be on camera doing this whole thing. I got to think of things to say. Gary hates it.
Yeah, unlimited money. This ends now.
I'm doing it for that.
Now I know how Sam felt because you just do not take any advice.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like
another
that.
thing she complains about.
Yep, exactly like Sam.
All you women are the same.
Hey, they love it when you say that.
God, I wish I was gay. And me and Brendan could be doing it.
I don't think you can handle it. That guy break you in half. Canadian, and you're so slight now, and he's muscly.
Yeah, hold me down.
Paloma, you are my caller of the day. You did an excellent job. We appreciate you. Hey, thanks for asking good questions.
Good luck tomorrow, you guys.
Hey, you too. Have a great
Paloma, before we leave,
Valentine's Day.
I just want to know what I traumatized you about years ago,
She's not gonna tell you.
so I don't do it again to other listeners who call in because I feel bad because you take the time to call in. We ask you to call in, and then I'm traumatizing you.
No, don't worry, Tom. I was just teasing you. I think it's just your way of breaking the ice, but it traumatized me.
She'll never tell you I hung up on her. I'm gonna keep you in the dark. I'll keep you up at night. Why are you being mean to all of our nice listeners?
So, you know what? It's their fault for being so nice.
It is. We have very nice listeners.
The nicer you are, the more I am inclined to bully you.
I know that.
Like,
yeah, EJ.
If you're nice, I bully you. If you're mean, then I want you to bully me.
Yeah.
That's the.
No, I got you.
Anyway.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, she's here! Oh my God! Surprise! Bring her in, ladies and gentlemen. We're I planned this ahead of time. We're gonna bring in do you want to be on camera or not on camera? Because you're off camera. I can't fix that camera now because it's messed up.
Here, Daniel, I'll move over.
We're taking live calls.
Move over. We're doing live calls.
Oh, is that your Thursday thing?
Yeah, Thursday thing. Yeah, we'll put you right here.
Even though it's played on Monday, it's very confusing.
Yeah. And the whole show, we've given up on trying to explain it to anybody. We just do it.
Yeah,
just
like
right
just
now,
take it.
Like it used to be where we would be like, just let it fall. I'm like, I love it now because I have to do less. Like, watch this.
Anybody call you?
Yeah. They're all bad.
We got one. Hey, thanks for calling Live Call Thursdays. You are on the line right now. You are a very special caller. You are on the line right now with Crystal Van.
Well, hello, Miss Crystal Van. How are you?
Oh, hold on. Let me turn you.
What is this? Some sort of cowboy?
We're now doing a dating game.
Hi.
Cowboy, you have the line.
Cowboy.
You're talking to Crystal Van.
Well, actually, this will work perfect for Miss Van being there. I actually want y'all's opinion to help me settle a debate about a Valentine's gift.
All right. This is SJ.
Yeah, it is SJ. It scared me for a second. Yeah. It was like, I heard you hit your horse. And it's like, I know who this is.
So, SJ, Valentine's Day gift. All right. What do you got?
Now, after 25 years, me and my wife, we really don't do that whole traditional flowers and candies and stuff. But my brother tells me that I'm wrong because last few times we went to Home Depot, my wife had been looking at this little Ryobi screwdriver set. So I thought it would be a good Valentine's gift for her.
All right.
But for some reason, my brother thinks I'm going to get my butt kicked tonight.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know if you heard or not.
Tom is a bit of a Ryobi screwdriver man himself.
I mean, come on, Tom. You're the king of romance.
I know. at least know that you do not get your wife a Ryobi screwdriver set for Valentine's Day.
At least go Makita or DeWalt. Don't get her the green one. I know it's on sale, but the battery packs are less reliable.
Or maybe you've been married 25 years. You already, my God, you're just, you might as well be the same person. You start growing into each other like a tree.
Yeah, you start growing. I like to use the example. You start growing into each other like a collar on an abused dog grows into their neck.
Yeah, we don't even talk to each other. We just look at each other and just stare and be like, okay.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Young people, they think that somehow you're going to be in love forever. And then that's what screws them up. And
don't tell them they won't.
Well, of course you won't.
Yeah. They don't want to get married.
I haven't been in love in forever.
Well, it turns into like
it's tolerance.
Yeah. It just turns into like I'll deal with it.
Yeah, it's like you get used to the pain. Right? It's kind of like my hip pain.
Yeah.
You complain about it at first, but then eventually you're like, well, this is what it's going to be. And you're like, well, just accept it.
Yeah. Like it's hard at first when you're learning to walk again. And then
you don't want to learn. So you kill yourself.
No. You just get used to it. You get used to the wheelchair and the whole thing.
And it just limps along until you die.
How you doing, baby?
I'm good. I had a meeting nearby, and I thought I'd just swing on over.
Thanks for popping by.
Say hello.
I love it when you pop by. I always think it's fun.
You never know what you're going to get when you come in here. I
That's
don't know
true.
if you guys are recording, you're having lunch, if you're here or not.
Well, I was trying to set up. I'd be interested to see how you feel about this. I was trying to set up, and we got a verbal yes on this. But there is an OnlyFans mom in Orange County who has been barred from volunteering. And I reached out to her on Instagram to see if she'd come on the show and talk about her side of the story of why they don't want her to volunteer in Orange County because she has a spicy website. And
volunteer doing what? What is she volunteering?
Just doing, cookie sale,
like
fun
a
run, mud
at
walk.
the school.
Yeah,
at the school.
The mud walk, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then and there's like, no, you can't do it. And I reached out to her. I said, we want to tell your story. We support you. And would you like to be on the show? And she's like, yes, I would. And so we have a verbal confirmation.
Is she walking in right now?
No. I wish. I'd like to get her in here and get her side of the story.
It's funny because I just got approved.
Is she? Can you see?
You see it all.
Insides of her vagina.
Oh, go.
No, son, I can't say that.
What show is this? See, I don't know.
This is a radio one.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah,
Well, I'm just saying, okay, let me rephrase that. How graphic is it?
I mean,
Because-
some say graphic, others say artistic.
I don't know. I don't want to be like chaperoning. My husband is chaperoning, and he's looking. I'm like, I want to look that up.
Yeah, but what's wrong with your relationship? She's not
I
doing
think you
anything.
think- I think
That's on him, not on her. I mean, what is she doing?
No, but I'm saying I think the uprising probably would be from
the other moms.
Other moms.
Well, that's on them for being a bunch of hags, right? I mean, let's call it what it is. If you're on the mud walk dressed like a hag, and here comes
How
the
did
OnlyFans
anybody even
mom,
know?
I don't
Because
know.
the dads were like, I seen her before.
Yeah.
You know what's weird about OnlyFans?
I don't know anybody on OnlyFans. I don't know one person on there, and I know that's because I'm an old man. I get it, but I don't know anybody on there.
Yeah, you
Akeem Woods. There you go. I know one guy.
You need to be some sort of entertainer or have a following to make any money.
Well, now you're going to make her popular.
Yeah.
Oh,
she owes you some dividends.
She's already wildly popular. I mean, she's probably making way more money than we make.
No. I don't think so.
Dude, she's got, tons of subscribers.
How many,
she's
though?
She's like 250,000 subscribers on Instagram.
Yeah, but those don't translate necessarily.
You know what?
OnlyFans.
No, we do.
Look it up.
I make more than her. I'm gonna say it right now. I do.
I don't know. I don't know if you do. I don't know if you do.
Yeah, you're probably right.
No, I'm just saying the definite.
You don't make that much.
I know, but I don't. How does she make that much?
I don't know.
Yeah. Like I know if she's got $5 subscription.
It's probably close.
Who
she got
subscribes?
no
Because
overhead.
if you can get that stuff on the internet for free,
it's about the
your followers. Your followers.
It's about the relationship you have with the person, right?
Okay.
So if you decided to do it, right?
Our listeners,
you're not
will,
going to.
look.
I 100% get that you're not going to do it.
I
but
mean,
I'm
I
just
get
saying,
some boobs.
yeah. Oh, I know you do, and I still am supposed to have seen them, and I'll bring that up until I die.
I know. When was that?
That was when Max was being born, and they were big milkers. And every night before I go to bed, I'm like, one day, and then I put my sleep mask on. But no, if you decided to do it, you would be weaponizing that group of people, and they would be more apt to do that over any porn star that's on the internet right now because they already have a connection with you, and there's already a relationship, so it's amplified, man.
But outside of our listeners, no one's looking at it because
Unless
they don't know you.
Yeah. It'd be very hard to
because
get.
there's millions
Right.
of other women that look like you that are out there for free.
How dare you?
Well, I'm just saying, it's just we're all humans. There's not that much.
That different?
They're not that different.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like, everybody is basically
Pink,
the same.
brown, black hair. No,
Yeah.
Come on.
But when
Big, little,
But when you
I
have,
like it all. I like all of it.
like there's this lady on Instagram that we've interviewed named Dare Taylor, right? And she does cosplay stuff. And so she does
blew up,
cosplay. She
too.
built a following of people that are like, and she does no nudity on the Instagram. Obviously, you can't. But then she started an OnlyFans, and she's like, hey, if you want to see me nude, here it is. And then she's rich because of that, because she has so many regular cosplay Instagram followers that there's a small portion, 10%, that are like, hey, I'll pay $5 a month to see you nude because and that's
another thing that I figured out on, and you and I've never talked about this, but this is the perfect time to talk about it. Remember when I became obsessed with the Am I Ugly Reddit page?
Yeah.
There's a Reddit page that like people will go in there and they'll take a picture of themselves and they'll be holding like a piece of paper with like the date and the /R and then like am I ugly, and they'll be like hey, am I ugly, and it's like their face. As you start to swipe
This sounds
through,
like a terrible experience. I would never want.
It's not real. It's most of it in am I ugly. I would say 70% are women who are not ugly, who put their picture in there. They say, am I ugly? Then you go and you rate. Then if you click through their bio and find them, they have an OnlyFans and they're fishing.
Yeah,
they're fishing for you. And they will get people that will go find their OnlyFans. Oh, they're spicy. I'll sign up.
But did
$5.
it used to be a real site? Like,
I
or
don't
did it
think
used to-
I don't think it's a real thing. There have been, I mean, maybe occasionally you'll get one person in there, but the vast majority of it is no. It's just OnlyFans people fishing for other people.
I
that
hate
are
the
horny.
internet. I
I do
really
too.
hate it. I
Yeah, it's
want
pretty
it to
bad.
just explode. I really hate it. I'm sorry.
You're not using it right.
No, I just it's everything I look for now is fake, and I have to figure out if it's fake. I feel like I'm getting pushed back toward, even if I look for a recipe, like it's just some weird fake nonsense and ads are popping up a million. I have to look for the people I already know. Like I might as well be going to the paper book in my cabinet. You know what I'm saying? I have to make sure that I find the person who I already know has been doing this for a long time and isn't fake.
Yeah,
And that's true for like anything I look up. If I'm like camping tips, all of them are fake. It's just everything is fake.
Well, yeah.
Everything is horrible.
Well, dead internet theory is we're
I
getting
know.
to a point.
I hope so. I
They'll-
can't wait.
They'll probably turn
Oh,
it around.
I think we're there.
It's now because of AI. AI is producing content unlimited, fast, and nonstop, and so now
too much.
it's filling up even
That's
more.
interesting. SJ says, and he helps us a lot here, he says that 64% of the internet is bots as of last year.
Yeah, and that's going up by the second. You
Yeah.
know? And so eventually I'm sure they'll figure out some way to clean that out or we'll just realize or the search engines will somehow change their algorithm to not put bot created content. Although how the hell would maybe
I
there's
do
some
find
way
Like, is there a way that you can declare yourself a human or something like that? Like this content was human created.
I use
or-
it less.
It's hard.
I mean, they tell you to do that, right? But I just find myself being on my phone less.
Me too. I
find myself watching less TV because TV has become YouTube for me. And I have stuff that I like on YouTube, but most of the time I'm just listening to and I've gone to records and and streaming, and I just do that and webcams mostly.
The AI created content has less value to me, and I know this from real world experience and studying fantasy football or whatever. There's fantasy football sites that now have used AI to curate their individual player profiles each week and stuff. Like AI is just doing that. And then they used to be human created, and then now it's AI created. I'm reading it and I'm like, wait a minute, this is just AI.
I don't like reading stuff that's AI. It's weird.
can tell.
But
Reads
even
like a Bizarro.
But it is accurate. So it's not.
Well, it can be.
Yeah.
It
so,
can be.
So I'm reading it, and the stuff they're presenting is accurate, but it's so generic, and the fact that I know it's AI, I'm like, I want a human
Yeah,
to
because
think
you
about
want
this.
like the personality and the opinion and the idea behind why this guy thought this, or you know, you want to hear that.
You can start to see the equation of AI, and you can start to see it. I don't have another word for it other than this is the word I use. I start to see flourishes in it, right? Little things that it's like what I mean by flourish is like little things where you would normally do. Let me give you one that's like for you. Okay, like your flourish for you as a human is if something's exciting to you, you'll be like, and you breathe in fast.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed it. It's just something, and I love it, right? Because that's inherently Crystal.
Well, now I'm going to be self-conscious about
No,
it.
don't,
Okay.
because it's your mom does it too. Like,
Oh my
because you guys
God,
are the
okay.
same person. But it's like a thing that the AI will. It notices that you do it, right, if you're in your human writing, and it tries to emulate it, but it just can't.
Yeah.
So when you're writing, like, it'll try to emulate what you're doing. I even have mine set up to write as me after reading hundreds of pieces of stuff that I've written, and it can't do it. It just simply can't do it.
Not yet.
Yeah,
and,
right.
that may be the thing
That's
that
the scary
we're
part.
saying this now, and it's like only going to get better, and then it will soon be indistinguishable from a human, and that's where it becomes real weird.
Back to radio.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We're heading that
FM.
way. We're heading that way.
Uh,
Yeah, we're definitely heading.
I don't want
want
to. I've said this from the beginning. Why I always loved the radio, and you've always been mad at me that I still listen to the radio in
I
my
do too.
car.
don't
I
tell
don't
people.
want. I don't want to make a choice. Like, I don't want to have to decide what I'm watching on Netflix. I don't want to have to decide what to listen to. I just want it to be on, and that's what I get.
You are tortured. You're around her all night and me all day.
I know.
Oh,
It's like
man.
it's like at Costco. I can't pick between 17 different ketchups. I get only one.
Yeah.
You have one. I need ketchup. That's what I get.
One stinky hunt.
No,
No, they have Heinz at Costco.
There's a big
Hey.
article about how even in the culinary world that homemade ketchup, that's not a thing, and don't do it. Thank you for calling Live Call Thursday. You are our live call of the day. Who's this?
Tom and Dan. Jeff from Lakeland here.
Nice, man. Good. Glad to have you live, Jim. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. I was calling in to see if you guys wouldn't mind judging my recent mini vacation.
All right, let's go.
This sounds fun.
All right. So day one involved going to I own a cat. I take care of several outdoor cats, but my wife and I went to a cat cafe. How's that for a start?
A cat cafe? That's probably a yes for. That's probably a yes for one person here.
Now describe to us what a cat cafe is.
Okay, so the one I went to, half of it is a coffee shop, and you can show up and get your gourmet coffees, and then you go through this airlock, and you go where all the cats are, and you can play with the cats.
Is there hair everywhere, and does it smell like ammonia?
Okay, so here's the question: does the entire place smell like six?
Oh.
Does the entire place smell like 6 kinds of cat urine?
So first day, cat cafe. Already, you know what I'm going to say, Jim.
Okay, well, that was the first half of the day. Second half of the day, my wife took me to a puppy mill with no intention of buying puppies, but they were all $1,500 to $3,000, but we got the pet dogs we couldn't afford.
That could be fun. Yeah, that could be fun because you don't have to worry about taking them home and them crapping all over you. So that's actually not bad. You know, I like that better than the cats because I'm a puppy guy.
Did you get to see the sad mothers with their saggy teats?
I see them every afternoon.
No, that puppy mill. It's a puppy mill. They take you to the back to see all the horrors.
Andrea's at home. Hey.
Oh, come on. Can you say that on the radio?
Kind of a consignment shop. There's a consignment shop where all these puppies from all over the U.S. are in these little pens, and you can pick them up and pet them. So it was all very cheerful looking.
Now, Jim, you sound like a real man. You've always called in. You seem like
he's great
stories. No.
Yeah. Do you get?
No, you misunderstand. I'm not a real man.
But you sound like it, and then my mind, I was Jim from Lakeland is a real man.
He's a teller of tales.
You get some sort of enjoyment out of going and petting random dogs.
I do. Now, Dan is real good at drawing a picture of a person. So with your permission, this is the person I'm going to become. Picture an old guy that looks like an unhealthy Santa Claus. He's got one foot wrapped up in some bandages that don't look quite right, and he spends all of his time breeding cockatiels, and he's selling these hand-bred cockatiels to people. That's kind of what I'm working my way towards, I think.
All right. One bandaged foot cockatiel.
Well, we appreciate you calling, Jim. We got to get out of here.
Okay, let's take a break.
Let's plug the Bart Merrick team.
Yeah. Bart
Hey, I'm
Merrick.
not here for nothing.
I know, man. Come on.
Bart Merrick, Crystal Van. If you are
That's
looking-
romantic. If you without being prompted.
Yeah.
If without being prompted, you start plugging your wife's
See, Daniel knows.
business.
Well, you prompted me.
Well, no, but I know.
I would have never thought about it.
But also, like, don't think that I'm doing that because of any reason other than I just want to get at it. Like, not you. I mean, my wife. Like, when I do the thing, I remember all the stuff, but it's just I'm so horny I remember all the stuff.
How are you guys? There's something in the air here. Why are the two of you so
horny?
Yeah.
Well, oh man, I'm all.
I did a little.
You know what?
I did a short survey recently.
Hey.
And other guys aren't as horny as us. Did you realize that? I
That's
thought
not true.
you were like me, and we were like everybody's like us. It was like
you and I. Did you know we're so horny we have to kiss before we do the show? One kiss, just to calm us down. We'll tear each other's clothing off.
I did a short survey, and it's you guys are at the top of the.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yep.
I'll
tell you off the air.
You've been serving a bunch of slop.
I'll tell you off the air.
Yeah. And I just blew my mind. I'm like,
Because
what's wrong with them?
But then you should do a survey of Orlando's most successful businessmen.
Yeah. Then you get on the tee or something.
Oh, wait till I get on the tee.
Yeah.
Big holes in everything.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we got an interview with a BDM whose house burned down.
So that'll lift you right up.
Bye-bye.
That was very funny. We're still on Twitch and YouTube. All right.
You want to stick around for?
Where's that go?
Well,
T. That's
that's Monday. What's
Don't we already have them? No, we don't.
We don't have anything for Monday yet.
Wednesday.
You got a BDM coming though? Is he coming in here?
No, we're just talking on the phone. He's a guy from California that is
Why don't you hang out?
apartment complex.
I would love to. I haven't eaten today, and I almost fainted at my last meeting.
Don't faint.
Yeah. You
want a protein bar?
You gotta get better about that.
Yeah. You can't
Tom's really good about it.
go. Just make yourself a smoothie every morning.
I don't like to drink my food.
That's just.
See how hard it is when you're picky like me.
And then you get the green corners on the lips.
It's gross.
You gotta clean all the.
You make it, you chug it down, you're good for a couple
tastes
hours.
like shit.
Then you eat this next thing, the same thing, everything the same.
Everything the same. You go to bed.
No enjoyment.
It's so boring. I hate it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Sometimes I walk over there, I get so frustrated. I look around in Publix, I get mad, and I start. And then he makes fun of me. I storm out like I fucking hate this place. I don't want to eat anything in this fucking place.
It's literally the grocery store that has everything you ever could
And I hate
possibly
it.
imagine, and you hate
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But he goes there, and I'm like, don't you know the same thing's gonna happen? And then when it happens, I get happy. I don't know why I'm like he's doing it. I'm like he's doing the same thing every day. And then I'm like, oh my god,
That's the definition of insanity.
He can't stop.
It's my Homer Simpson moment.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, he's gonna panic buy a turkey sandwich,
freak out. I'm
and
like,
then he's gonna eat one bite.
I
of it
take
and
one
leave
bite.
it.
I go, this fucking sucks. I leave it on my desk, and then at the end of the day, I walk in there, I see it, I'm like, I fucking hate you, turkey sandwich.
Daniel, you should do the George Costanza and do the opposite, and then see.
Sometimes I get so mad that I'm just like, fuck it, I'm not eating, and I'll just come home here, and then then I've had so much caffeine that I'll be
and
sitting,
no food, and then you're like, zzz.
and I'm sitting here, I'm like, and the Andrew's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, not healthy.
The show's Monday, the February 17th.
All right.
2/17.
Gotcha. ACT Monday 2/17/25. Raw audio. Create. All right. Let me save that, and then you're gonna call the dude.
Yeah.
That was.
I think I probably won't stick around.
Okay,
I'm gonna
man.
be here tomorrow as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
was that 1 and 2?
There's 1 and 2.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Thanks for letting me come sit for a
Oh
little
man,
bit.
thanks for popping in.
Don't forget to delete my naughty words I said. On your cheat there.
Yeah, I got
I don't want to be out there in public.
And that one listener called in.
I got 11 for shit and 32 for pussy insides.
Oh my god! I didn't say the P word.
Right, but I had to write that down to make sure I get it.
I said, can you see the innards?
Yeah, I wish we could say that.
Virginia.
See ya.
Bye, babe.
Thanks again for doing that.
I'll call you later.
And this is going to be a split. And it's 11 with shit. And 32 with insides. Got it. Okay. Dude, lasagna soup is really good. They didn't I didn't peek over to see if they had it, and it's not as cold right now. So I kind of felt like
Hello?
I kind of felt like
Hey,
I
Taylor?
didn't want to have it.
Hey, what's going on? It's Tom from Tom and Dan. How you doing? Good, good. I'll put you on hold, and then we'll come back on the show and we'll talk to you. And this is going to be live today on Twitch and YouTube, but this will actually air on the radio and be on the podcast on Monday, just from the way we record or whatever. But it's going to go out live on Twitch and YouTube. Okay. All right, hold on one second.
Okay, that's done. Robert, are you back from your trip, buddy? Lasagna soup is a Publix thing. It's basically just like minestrone, but with those, like, kind of those rigidy side noodles with some ground beef and spices and stuff. Christine, I already said that it was because I made fun of old Martha Segowski for being out there. Not if you have passes, though. If you have Disney passes, I mean, why not? Okay, what line is he on?
1.
Hey, buddy, can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, thanks again for doing this, man. We're going to try and
absolutely.
Get the word out here for you and help you out. That sounds good. All right, awesome. All right, hold on one second. We'll get started.
Sure.
You know what I was thinking about? That we have the ability to do anything we want. No restrictions. We are not restricted by any company.
No.
We're not restricted by all of our sponsors are pretty
they're-
much cool
well,
with
we have
I mean,
yeah, we have great sponsors.
here's the thing, within the guise of what we would do because of who we are, you know,
What do you
like
think of
obviously
doing?
I don't know. That was what I was thinking about. I was like, we should do something, whatever we want. And then I was like, we should ask the listeners, what do you want us to do? That's like,
oh, they'll tell us. I'm sure.
not even for entertainment, like we do events or whatever. Like we could just do whatever, and that's odd to be not
beholden to something,
or like like we can't do that because of lawsuits or like we don't have to worry about lawsuits. No one will sue us. We're too small. So it's like it does free us up to do whatever the fuck
What made
we
you
want.
think of that now?
Well, I was like, we need to do something fucking so abnormal that is crazy to people. They're like, what the fuck? You know, because we can.
Yeah.
We literally don't have to worry about anything.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I never take it that far because I'm just like,
Well, within the of course, we're not going to do anything outside of what me and you would do personally. Obviously, like it's all going to be good stuff, but it could be like whatever the hell we want.
yeah, there's no.
Can't
doesn't
think
have
of
to be
anything.
consistently. Yeah, that's the problem.
Anyway.
Would you like to start this one? Where are we putting this guy?
Segment 3.
Okay, here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So I got an email from a BDM who lives out in California. And
We
he's
have a decent amount of BDMs that actually live out there.
Yeah, so he's on the line with us. Taylor, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing, Taylor? So
I'm doing good.
So let's talk about it because you sent us an email about how your apartment complex burned down in the California LA fires. Wow, man. And so let's start from the beginning. You are from Florida originally. That's why you're a BDM?
Yeah. I was born and raised in Pompano Beach. I'm sure you know it, just north of Miami there.
Yeah.
And I went to UCF, actually. I went to film school in UCF.
Nice.
I'm an old man. I'm a dumb old man, just like you guys. And I've been. I went to UCF in '98. Took a couple tries to get into the film program, so I was there till about 2004. So was listening to you guys since like '99, or I know Tom, you weren't on then, but like Dan, at the Monsters and everything like that, at the Quarry and whatnot. Sure. And I've been a big fan of you guys ever since. And so after film school, I moved out to LA. So I've been out here about 20 years.
Nice.
Okay.
So yeah.
So let's talk about obviously we all watch the fires on the news from here, Florida, obviously, and it was insane. Like the footage, the devastation, totally insane. It's funny how I still am like uncomfortable about when the start of the fires happened, and like I was hearing about it for the first time when live on the show. Yeah. And I was like, I made some jokes about it, and I was like, I just didn't know how bad it was and how bad it was going to be. Sure. And because we were doing improv or whatever, and
you made me go edit them out.
I felt bad. I was like, ugh.
This guy's a maniac.
But anyway, it was horrible. So tell us about your experience. When did you know that you had to evacuate your apartment complex, or were you watching on the news, or like the fire spreading?
Yeah, so basically, we got the heads up from like the city, county of LA that there was going to be high winds coming that week, and usually when that happens, there's brush fires or something, and so I was kind of prepared for it, or like expecting something to happen. And since COVID, I've been working from home. We all in post-production. I'm a reality TV editor, so we've all been working from home. So I was just sitting there editing, and I just kept hearing sirens coming. And we didn't get an evacuation order just yet, and I was just like, oh, well, there's a fire. But there's been a good handful of fires, because I was in Pacific Palisades, and near Malibu and near the beach. And there was there's been a fair amount of fires, over the last. I was living there for 5.5 years, and over that time, there's been a fair amount of little brush fires up in the hills in the Santa Monica Mountains there, but they've always been put out. And every time I asked my landlord, I'm like, should we evacuate? What's going on? And he was like, no. In 40 years, the fire has never crossed Sunset Boulevard, and I lived on the corner of Sunset and Las Casas.
Oh, God.
And so I was like, oh, okay. And I just kept working. I just kept editing. But then I just kept hearing more and more sirens. And then I eventually went outside, and the winds were really crazy. And I started to see, because the thing about Pacific Palisades, if you're not familiar with it, it's like there's only one road in and out, and it's Sunset Boulevard, basically. It just and you take that either, to other roads that sort of lead out into Santa Monica or to the PCH. And so it's a 2-lane road, basically. It's 2 lanes both ways. And so once I went outside and there was a line of cars, it was basically a parking lot of people trying to get out. I was like, oh, this isn't good. I should probably start to gather myself. And the winds were really crazy, and we started to see those super scoopers, those big planes that go into the ocean and they scoop up the water and then they fly over, and I started to see that. And one of them actually flew over my apartment. I wish I'd gotten it on video, but it was pretty insane to see. And
so Taylor, describe to me real quick, how big is your apartment complex? Like, what are we looking at? Is it?
It's a small. It was actually kind of small. It was a triplex. So it was 2 apartments up top, me and then my neighbor, and then down below was a single, like a studio unit, and then it shared a little courtyard with another building that had 4 apartments in it, but they were like condo kind of. They were like bigger, like 2 bedrooms each type. And so
what are we looking at rent wise? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, rent, right. I was about. They had just raised my rent, but they were nice. They were great landlords. They only raised my rent every 2 years, and I was for a 1-bedroom in Pacific Palisades. I was at $2,570.
Ooh,
so
wow, man.
It was steep. It was steep.
Yeah,
I was living in there. It's a beautiful
the area.
beautiful place.
I'm thinking of the area, and I saw pictures. Like you sent us some photos.
Yeah.
I was kind of familiar just from time that I've been to LA. That's probably the only area of town that I've spent any time in. Is kind of where you're talking about. A lot of people live. It's a very popular area of town.
So Taylor,
so it's beautiful.
So you see the planes flying over.
That's gotta be like apocalyptic, right?
Oh, dude, it was. It was pretty crazy.
Gridlock traffic, winds. Can you see the fire at this point? Like, do you see the smoke in the distance?
I can see the smoke, and then at one point, I was in my neighbor's apartment next door. His wife was at work, so it was just me and him and his little dog, and we were just. He had the news on, and we hadn't really gotten the evacuation order just yet, but. Outside, I kind of looked out his kitchen window, and I could see the flames in the distance. It was a little ways off, but it was like, that's never happened. I'd never seen that before. So it was pretty crazy. But also just to clarify, like, I had maybe an hour or so. Like, I didn't go out in a rush. I was just like, I was sort of like, putting things together. I was packing clothes. I hadn't done laundry yet, so I was able to sort of take my weekly laundry with me. So I had some clothes. I had 2 cats. I kind of got them packed up.
Yeah.
And then I sort of took some sentimental items. Like I'm also in the Dead Dad Club. He passed a few years ago.
Sorry.
So thank you. I took some stuff that I had from him and some other family things and my computers. And that was basically it. And I was just kind of loading up my car. And I'm really glad that I did, because basically we couldn't leave. Like my neighbor and I were sort of the last ones in our little apartment complex to leave, because we kind of got stuck. There was, like I said, traffic was a parking lot, and then my street ended up turning into just all these people were leaving my street too. And we couldn't leave. I just sort of packed my car, was kind of waiting, and I didn't really know what to do. And then one of my neighbors had suggested, I forgot, that at the end of my street there was this kind of hiking trail that sort of is this beautiful overlook. It overlooks the ocean, and then there's a trail that goes down to the beach. And so she was like, well, if you can't get out of here, maybe just grab whatever you can and hike down to the beach. And so for a hot minute, me and my neighbor were considering that. And I am so glad I didn't do that, because I would have lost my car. I would have lost so much. I mean, I did lose everything. But it was. I have 2 cats. You know, wrangling cats, as the phrase goes. It would have been insane. So
yeah.
And I'm glad I'm a lazy procrastinator, as you guys are. So I kind of didn't make a decision, and I was like outside one last time. And when I did, all the traffic had cleared up, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'm getting in my car and I'm leaving. And I remember I literally like I only had 1 cat carrier, so I had 1 cat in the carrier, and then I went back upstairs to grab the other guy. And I remember I did that move like in the movies. I literally like looked at my apartment one last time, and I really honestly thought that I would be back. But we got in the car, and it just, I guess for reference, from my place to the 405 is a big freeway in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I'm sure people have heard of it. But so from my apartment to the 405 maybe takes 10 minutes to drive to it. It took me 4 hours to get to the 405. Oh, and I ended up staying with my partner in Ventura. They live with their family up there, and so I was staying with her, but it took me like it's like an hour and 10-minute drive to get up there, and it took me like 5 hours.
I forgot you're from California. You call your partner a woman, or the woman. When you said the partner, I was like, okay, gay. Then you said a woman, and I was like, oh, California.
I mean, you got to remember, in the South, we call them gentlemen suitors for boys, and for ladies, we call them belles or dames. Get it right.
Well, part of that actually is that they're non-binary. female, but they are non-binary, so we say partner instead of girlfriend. But
I like
whatever.
that.
So,
I like that.
So, yeah.
So you are gay. I'm sorry. I don't know how it works. I'm a small Florida boy.
I know. No, I said I'm a dumb old man. It took me a minute because they're much younger than me, and so it took me a minute to.
No, we got you. Fully on board.
Sorry, Taylor.
No worries.
So,
but it was crazy. Like we were on my way out. So I live near Temescal Canyon Park, which is a park that's like a hiking trails and stuff in the Santa Monica Mountains. And as I was passing by, like the flames were like right there.
Jesus, dude.
And as I was driving through, I guess you would call it downtown, quote unquote, Palisades. It's where all the shops are. It was just, I looked out my window. Oh, damn, I should have sent that picture to you guys. I stuck my phone out the window and I just took this sort of Dutch angle picture with my phone of the line of cars behind me, and the entire sky is just black smoke and fire. It was really crazy, and in retrospect, I was like, oh, I'll be back. It'll be fine.
Yeah. But you don't know that, right? Like, you don't know. And well, first of all, we're glad you're okay.
So, Taylor.
You and your partner and, everybody, your neighbors, I hope everybody is safe and alive. Because this sounds insanity.
So, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, you said you did the stereotypical thing where you take one last look at your apartment. It's like, you see it in movies. Like, you look at one, like, you're like, you look at it, you're like, maybe this is the last time I ever see this. And then you leave.
Right. I had that thought. Yeah.
But I'm sure in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, they're being conservative, evacuating people. Like we've all seen it. You from Florida, like sometimes they evacuate people out of caution, just and you're like, maybe there's probably in your mind, was it a better chance than not? You come back and your apartment still be there?
Oh yeah, because actually when I first moved into that apartment in 2019. A few months in, there was a fire because I also sort of live on the east side. I'm sort of near the Getty Museum, and there was a fire over by there, and I had to evacuate for that. I had to stay at a hotel for a couple nights for that, and that was fine. And I ended up coming back, so it was kind of the same feeling. I was like, oh well, I've had to do this before, so I'll probably be back. We were, when I got there up to my partner's place, we were watching, there's an app called Watch Duty, I think, and it's a fire app. I'd never heard of it before, but it basically like tells you where there are fires. And so we were watching it, and at one point, basically everything in the Palisades, except for my neighborhood, according to the app,
right,
was on fire, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Sorry, can I curse? I don't know.
You're fine. You're fine. I got you.
We'll cut it out.
I got you.
So I was like, and it kind of stayed that way for like a day, and so at some point, at first I was hopeful. But then it's like a day later, it still looks the same. I'm like, oh, they probably just haven't updated the app or something like that. So, but it took a few days. But then everyone that lived in the complex, we got confirmation from our landlord. I think he ended up sending me and a couple people a video of the two buildings.
Here is a picture of your everything you own burning.
Yeah.
Here, I am sending hello, Taylor. This is landlord. I am sending picture. This is a 480p video of everything you own.
It was very low res.
So
480p.
What is that feeling like when like, okay, the entire building is on fire? Do you think like maybe some of my stuff got saved?
No,
or
I would look at my cats. I would be kissing my cats and looking at my cats.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was. In some ways, I honestly still think that I'm in shock because it's such an unreal. It's such an unreal feeling. I think the closest thing I can that it's like is like when. If you've ever known someone who suddenly died, like if they're old and they're languishing in a hospital, that's different. Obviously, that's so sad. But like if someone like suddenly dies in a car accident or something like that, if that's ever happened to you, it's kind of like that, because you're just like, wait, what? Like, this used to be here yesterday, and then now it's not here at all. And it's such a crazy feeling, because I think maybe I can't speak for the rest of the world, but maybe more so in America. I feel like we definitely get caught up in a lot of our own personal belongings, like the stuff that we have and the things that we own, and there's well, I guess maybe all human beings are like this. We put sentimental value on certain things, and I started to think about, and then over the days and the weeks, it's like all these, just randomly at random times, these things will come into my head, like, oh my God, I lost this, or oh my God, I had that.
Because you don't even know the scope of what you lost really at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I had a really good friend. You mentioned the die suddenly thing. I had a really good friend that was hit by a car, and he died suddenly. And then my landlord sent me a very low-res video of it.
I knew this was a joke. You're turning into Jeff Howell, goddammit.
My landlord, he was like, these are 480p of your friend that dying on bike.
I lost my Jeff Howell CDs, too. I had some Jeff Howell CDs.
Yeah, there you go. This guy gets it.
They burned.
He gets it.
It's like and I had just refurnished my apartment too, which was the bitch of it. Back in October, I bought all new everything. I bought new rugs and a bed and a couch, and like I bought a desk.
And rugs are expensive, man. Rugs are very expensive.
Really expensive. And like I also had, and for years I had this blank space of wall, and I have a ton of books, and I wanted to build this floor to ceiling kind of shelving for these books. And back in November, a friend of mine came over and he helped me build this big like bookshelf thing. God. And I lost all my books, and that my books and my CDs and my vinyl that I've had for years are probably, and my concert T-shirt are probably the things that I'm really the most sad about, because it's crazy.
It's screwed up too, because obviously from Florida, used to natural disasters, hurricanes, and water. But in water, and there's people that lose their houses in.
Andrea's dad had to sell his house. He just sold it yesterday.
In hurricanes and obviously flooding. But the thing about the flooding is, I've always people are like, oh, I lost everything. I'm like, well, you can dry some of this out. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff on the couch and stuff. Like, I know it's bad, mildew.
It wasn't vaporized.
Yeah. When it burns to ash. Like nothing.
That's the thing. That's the thing, and that's the thing that I kind of realized that's such that's screwing with my head, where it's like, I mean, obviously a hurricane and a flood and stuff like that, like that's devastating, no doubt. But like my stuff was literally eaten by fire. Like it's gone. Like you said, it's vaporized. It's totally
it's symbolism, man. It's
gone.
like this is something in your brain that I think evolutionary and subconsciously, just let's think about it as humans. The idea of getting something rid of it for good is to burn it, right? Like there's some symbolism in your brain already about so when I saw those photos that you sent me, like how sensitive I am. I mean, you triggered me because I looked at that and I'm like, wait, it was the first interaction I'd had firsthand of this, and it was way worse than I thought.
Like, at least when you're in like Oklahoma and your whole neighborhood get destroyed by like an F5 tornado, and it's leveled, and then there's people like wandering through the debris, like looking for family albums, and everyone's like, I found a teddy bear. At least there's something, and you it turns to ash everything you've owned.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I will say I went back for the first time, and that was really difficult. With my partner, we went back, and they get like the Red Cross and everyone gave us like suits to wear and masks and all this stuff, and so we went back just to kind of pick through and to see what we can find. And surprisingly, my apartment was up on the second floor, and then below my apartment and my neighbor's apartment were all garages for our building and the building next door, and people just used it as storage, really. There was no cars parked in there. But it was because it was an old building. It was like built in the 50s or something.
Well, that's
so,
what Tom does too. I mean, like most garages in Florida, you don't put a car in it. That's a
You're filling full of garbage.
I mean, you're a
Garbage,
young person if you do that.
And we went through, and basically my kitchen was above the laundry room, and we saw the washer and dryer. So we kind of went over to that area and we started kind of picking through. And weirdly, we found my sink, and I had left 30 dishes in the sink. So there were some dishes and forks and spoons that were burned, and it was really weird. And then we found a lot of my ceramic pots and pans, and so I took some of them, and the coolest thing that I actually did find, and it was real like Pompeii type stuff. It was so weird and bizarre.
Oh,
but,
you found a guy whacking it.
I seen that in the shadow of him. It burned his whacking
you
shadow.
tell your partner, you're like, hey, get over here. We found the neighbor. He's dead. He's whacking it.
Shadow.
Yeah. We a few. So I'm also an actor when I can, occasionally, mostly theater. But a friend of mine I went to film school with, actually, she's a director and she does mostly horror, and she did a short film a few years ago, and she cast me in it. And in the short film, we basically had to do a plaster mold of my head. So I had to sit in the chair for 4 hours, and they had to put plaster over my head.
Oh,
and that whole thing.
cool. Yeah.
And it was a really cool experience. And so at the end of it, the makeup artist took the molds of my face, and he put plaster in it, and he made me this really dense, heavy plaster mold of my face.
Cool.
And we found the bottom half of it. So it's like from my nose down, it was just my partner Emma found it she was brushing away all the ash, and it was just sitting there. And it's so weird because I kept it in my closet in my bedroom up on the second shelf, and I guess it just kind of everything collapsed. And my closet shared a wall with the kitchen, so I guess it made sense then that it sort of ended up with all the kitchen stuff. But it survived, and so I have that. And I think I'm going to take some of this stuff eventually and sort of do, I don't know, something artistic with it, clean it out, make it keep it like some of the pots I might use to sort of I actually have a new place now. I'm in my new place now, and I have a little private patio, so I'm gonna have plants and so I'm gonna kind of take the stuff that we found in the ashes, of the rubble, and kind of I don't know, do something artistic with it.
I think that's cool, man.
Type of thing. Yeah, and I have tattoos as well, and eventually I'm going to get a tattoo about all of this too. I don't know what yet, but probably that as well.
Yeah.
You should.
I would get. You know what I would get? I would get Jared from Subway holding a lit match. And then underneath him, I'd write, "It only takes a spark." There you go. That's just my first idea. I have millions of ideas. Email me if you need more.
All right.
Or $5 foot long.
Just write $5.
If you want to go more Steve-O comedy tattoo.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all I'm good for is the silly stuff.
So, Taylor, you've lost everything, and now I want to plug your GoFundMe
how can
because
we help you out?
you started GoFundMe. You lost everything you had, So what's your GoFundMe?
Well, I don't. Well, it's actually one of those links that's just a bunch of letters and numbers. But I think if you go to GoFundMe.com and search my name, Taylor Marr, Marr.
Okay.
It will probably come up. Let me actually check that. I should have been more prepared. I'm not prepared.
No, I told you.
We're never prepared.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the hell I'm talking to. No, I'm joking.
We'll throw it up in the BDM page
we'll
too,
put it up
and
actually yes. If you search my name, Taylor Taylor Marr Marr, it's the first one that comes up.
Awesome, man.
And it's a picture of me holding one of my cats, and I'm actually almost at my goal. So I'm only like maybe a little less than four grand away from
nice.
from
Awesome.
my goal.
Awesome.
Well, congrats, man.
Hopefully
Yeah.
we'll help you reach this. Now, you know, it's weird about natural disasters, and again, because of hurricanes, we're familiar. But natural disasters, they make all the news when it's happening. It's everywhere, right? We're all glued to our screens watching it. It's social media. It's everywhere. And then when it's done, people are like,
cycle.
all right, moving on.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, these people are left to rebuild. It takes years,
Like,
you know.
Well, Carolinas. You know, from
Yeah,
their
Carolina's
storm.
still messed
Still
up.
messed up.
And
California's still messed up.
I mean, there's places in Florida that are still messed up from hurricanes years ago.
Puerto Rico's still messed up.
You know, when I went to North Florida on a vacation years ago, and there was trees, like tons of trees down everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, this is from a hurricane like 4 years ago, the major one that went through like Pensacola area. And then I'm like, oh yeah, if these things devastate, lost them.
Yeah, I didn't pay the bill.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we only had a limited time. I didn't want to tell you. I thought you'd get mad if I told you that.
You'll probably call back.
probably
But I wanted to find out, like, what are they? Like, are all these people going to rebuild their houses in the same area? I imagine a lot of them are going to take their insurance money and get out of there.
I've been reading
sell the
articles.
property.
I've been reading articles. I'm sure you're going to get both. The article I read this morning was exactly what you're talking about, and most people are leaving. Like, it was people that are like, I don't want to ever live here again.
But then again, if you look at it, you're like, well, all the potential hazards, the forest that burned up, leading itself up to burning the Palisades and stuff, now have burned. So you probably have a good amount of time. Plus, I'm sure they're looking about how to prevent this in the future. You know, it's kind of like a plane crash. The safest time to be in a plane is after a plane crash because they start learning why it crashed and prevent that. So
I don't know much about their. I just don't know much about what's happening out there. In fact, I'm too afraid to even message my buddy Dave, who just like moved to Paris for the year.
Yeah,
I don't even want to ask him if his house is okay. Like, I'm too chicken to even message him and say like, hey, because it was heading that way.
Yeah,
now, I know.
Well, I'm sure you would have heard. He would have told you.
I think, that's what I think.
But it's interesting, the rebuild process, and are they rebuilding
His
at the
cell phone
same?
may have died. I'm thinking about that now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
that might be him.
Yeah.
Taylor, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, sorry about
So
that.
I was going to ask you, have you heard about like the rebuild process? Or is it going to happen slow? Like, what are we looking at?
Well, a lot of us in the Palisades, they started a bunch of different WhatsApp groups. So I've been sort of like hearing, because I'm a renter, so like I'm obviously not going to be rebuilding or anything like that. I've been seeing the people with the houses and stuff like that, and dealing with insurance and whatever. And I'm still dealing with insurance too. And a lot of people, at least at the moment, really they want to rebuild and they don't want to sell their properties and everything like that. And they've been really pushing the mayor and the Army Corps of Engineers and everything to get going. And I think they've actually already started. I think the EPA has already done a pass, their phase 1, and then I think now the Army Corps of Engineers are starting phase 2, which I believe is debris removal. And they can opt to either have the Army Corps of Engineers do it for free, or you can have your own. You can hire a company to do it or whatever.
Just get some buddies.
Yeah,
get some
right.
friends.
Exactly,
Let's have a party. Let's have a painting party.
Painting party. Yeah. But the devastation is pretty total. It's insane. I got some numbers from the group the other day, and weirdly, my neighborhood, my street, and my surrounding neighborhood, and then there's another. On the east end of town, there's a neighborhood called the Alphabet Streets, and that neighborhood and my neighborhood suffered 93% home destruction. It was the worst of all the neighborhoods in the Palisades. It's pretty insane. Like my street, it's a mile, it's like a mile loop. It goes down for like half a mile, then it loops around, and like I said, there was this beautiful overlook at the end, and pretty much all the houses are completely gone. The only thing that's left are like the chimneys, like the brick chimneys, kind of thing.
Are there any houses that are around there that might have been spared that you guys hate those people now because they?
Well, actually, yes. It's funny. There was a house that I was like, every time I'd walk by it, every time I'd walk by the house, it had just gone up, and I don't know I think whoever built the house, whatever construction company built the house, were trying to sell it, and I think someone had just moved into it. I didn't know them, and it wasn't the people, but the house was so ugly, and I fucking hated it. Sorry again.
No, you're fine.
I hated that house. It was an ugly modern monstrosity, and it totally survived. No, not a scratch on it. Like, the grass was fine. I don't know, because I know some people might have had private fire brigades. I don't know if that had something to do with it, but I did talk to a guy when I got there once who was he was in construction, and he came over to us and we were just talking, and he said a lot of the new houses are built with materials that repel fire or like that don't really catch. So I think some of it had to do with that. Some houses were Spanish style, so it had the Spanish style roofs and it had stucco, and he was telling us that
they're already fiery the Spanish style.
So they have like some sort of fire R word painted on the outside.
No, it's just
right, exactly. I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say the fire.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed to say that.
They built their whole house with fire R word.
Yeah.
There's a
but
picture.
I heard that the stucco kind of it doesn't really catch fire, or it's very thick.
There was a
so
picture.
There were a few houses.
No, there was a picture, and Andrew and I were talking about this. There was a picture of a neighborhood. I don't know if this is real, but I'm just going to pose the question.
Yeah.
It was of a neighborhood, and it's all burned out, but there was one house that looked like a sort of a modern house, but it was like everything around it, the fence, the house, and the back of it had a pool. Everything fine. So theoretically, your entire neighborhood is burned out, but you can still swim in your pool.
That's great.
Do you swim in the pool? That's my question. Andrew and I were talking about this, and Andrew goes, I wouldn't swim in that. I was like, I swim in my pool. I bought that pool. That's my pool.
It's extra hot outside.
Back to the pool lap. Yeah. It was pretty crazy too. A guy in my film school class, actually, he's a director of photography. He lives in Altadena, which was also strange because the Altadena fire and the Pasadena fire basically started on the same day, and he lost his house too.
Damn.
And it's just crazy. Like the friends that I have that are from California, like from Southern California, know so many people that just between the Palisades and Altadena that have just lost everything. And it's a really crazy experience, and I'm still kind of, again, like probably in shock from it.
Yeah,
and the other thing that I'm sort of realizing is that like I'm in my new place and it's nice, and obviously I have myself, I have my cats and some sentimental things, but it's like I'm living in an Airbnb, It's like everything. There's no emotional connection to anything in this place.
Yeah, you didn't choose it.
So,
you really it was a desperation move, and so the connection's broken. I'm your guy for this, man. Like, I could.
I know, Tom.
Tom can lay his head on any rock at any field, and he's fine.
You'll fall in love with a pile of junk again.
You're working on your new junk pile.
That's good.
Yeah. So, I'm curious because you mentioned something I didn't hear about when this whole thing was happening. Were people had people hired their own private fire brigades?
Well, I don't know for sure, but I know. So Rick Caruso, who's a developer out here, and he ran for mayor, but this last mayoral cycle, he didn't win. A lot of people in the Palisades voted for him. I did not, but he owns the basically in the downtown Palisades. There's like a new section it just went up within I think the last 10 years or less, and it's shops and everything like that. And from what I heard, he hired private firefighters to come in and protect his investment there and his business or his shop. And that survived. But, the grocery store across the street did not, and there's a couple other buildings, I think, in the downtown area that did survive. There's a hardware store that survived, but
what they call a private? private, you know what they call a private firefighter? A hose for hire. That's what they call it. They call it a hose for hire. Right? That's good.
There is something
cooler than private eye or not as cool?
There's something effed up about the thought of like a private firefighters.
Yeah.
Like they're spraying one
think that
building,
would,
right?
That would impress women.
To save it, and they're like, all right, this building's saved. And then the building right next door is on fire. They're like, didn't pay to spray that one. Didn't no one pay me to spray that?
Not on my clipboard.
yeah. Like I'm only spraying the one they pay me to spray. The one next door, I could spray it.
What if they're pleading? They're like, please, my baby's inside.
No, you should have paid me.
My baby's inside. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, here's a flyer. You can sign up online.
I'm paid to spray. I only spray who pays me.
Yeah.
I did not know that. It makes sense, though, if you have the money and you're like...
get private everything.
I don't even know where you'd find that. Like, who the hell is
I don't either.
vigilante?
I didn't know that was the thing.
I mean, isn't it just a paid pill head with a hose?
It's actually pretty easy.
Like we're acting as if this is a fireman-trained firefighter who's like, I just do it independently now.
Yeah. I've got lots of buddies that are firefighters. It's got to be easy. I know them very well. My buddy Joe, he's a higher-ranked
Here's
firefighter.
Something I know.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Here's something I know. All firefighters are either fat or on the tee. That's it. They're either fat or on the tee.
Known him my whole life. I'm like, he can do it. A lot of people can. I'm joking. Well, Taylor, thanks so much for telling us your story. It's crazy.
We're glad you're okay. We're glad that Kat's okay. Your partner, everybody in the complex was okay, right? Everybody was good?
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's okay. One of my neighbors, though, she had an indoor cat, which they took, but then an outdoor cat, which they couldn't find before they evacuated, and he's been looking for the outdoor cat, and that's pretty sad. But people have been finding their pets like 2-3 weeks later, randomly. So who knows? But
sometimes
outside of that,
when there's tragedy, sometimes I like to just pick up people's pets and take care of them for weeks upon weeks, and then return them. And then return them.
Let's talk about outdoor cats for a second. You have to.
You know what I call an outdoor cat? Just a cat. He's a cat.
It's got to be a little less sad if it goes missing than an indoor cat, because you're used to it lives in the wild, like it lives outdoors, like it comes and goes.
Well, the thing about an outdoor cat, though, which I think is you're riding the lightning with that one, because there are coyote. I'm a kind of a night owl, and I would walk my neighborhood at night, maybe and fall on a left-handed cigarette every once in a while.
There you go.
And walk around, and there's coyotes everywhere. Like, they come up, they'll walk around, and it's like, if you have an outdoor cat there, you're already in a danger zone.
No, I get it. That's why I'm pro indoor coyotes. I don't like outdoor coyotes.
There's coyotes in Castleberry everywhere. Dude, I didn't forget to say this.
Except they're the ones that take people across the border.
I should have prefaced that.
It's the real immigration coyotes in Castleberry.
Right. But a coyote broke.
Aren't your sons on the softball team, the Castleberry Coyotes?
A coyote was chasing a cat, my neighbor Catman's cats, and broke through the bottom of the fence.
They're strong.
Leaving a hole in the fence.
They have the strength of Danny DeVito.
And literally chasing a cat, broke through the fence.
Yeah,
very,
very strong.
They're eating cats out there all the time. I hear them eating them.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Beautiful dogs.
All right, Taylor. Well, we appreciate it. Hope we're glad you're good.
We didn't help at all, I'm pretty sure.
No, you'll get to your goal. You'll be good.
You're good, buddy. All right.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate the BDMs, and thank you so much.
You got it, brother.
I really appreciate it.
We'll talk to you soon,
problem.
man. We're glad you're back on your feet. That is Taylor.
Yeah.
Live from his new place.
It's the
Thanks for setting that up, dude. That's cool. I'm glad he's okay.
Just like I'm sure people in California, they look at hurricanes and they're like, "Oh man, I would, that's crazy. I would never want to go through that." But we're so used to them here that it's no big deal anymore,
Yeah. And the fire thing is terrifying to me. I want to see that picture he has of as he's leaving. Fire scares me. It does.
The scariest part of all anytime these fires happen, are the videos of the people that are trying to escape, like usually down a 1-lane road or whatever.
Yeah, they're going to jump in their swimming pool to let the fire burn over them or something.
No, I'm talking about in their car, and they're driving, and all you see is there's fire on both sides of the road and smoke and embers, and then you're like, at every moment, you can't even see in front of you. You're just driving. Like if you crash into something like another car or whatever, you're
done.
You're like, I'm gonna be burned alive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then they're crying and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I've driven around in hurricanes and stuff. It's like bad storms, but it's never.
It's ominous. It's not scary.
It's never like, oh, if I break down and get burned alive. Like, obviously, you know, with storm surge and stuff. But there's so much time to get away from that we have options.
I don't think it's like what do you call that? Like reckless to say that. I don't think I've ever been in a hurricane. Now, maybe when I was a child. When I was a child, my first couple of but like in recent years as an adult, I don't think I've ever been in a hurricane where I looked around and I was like, oh man.
No, I never.
Like I may have looked outside and been like, oh, it's whipping up, but I've never been like, oh, this is gonna get me, or
you're scared for your life.
This makes me go run. This is a get the hell out of there scenario.
Yeah, and then like I was asking the question, I was like, how do communities? I don't understand. Like I didn't understand the concept of fire because I'm not used to it. And then you see the videos, and you're like, oh my God, it's just a never-ending trillions of embers.
It's an exodus.
Blowing so fast that's how all these houses and everything, neighborhoods were catching on fire. I didn't get the concept of the never-ending embers just bombarding something until it lights on fire, and then it just and I was like,
the wind never. It's like a relentless wind.
Yeah, and then just red-hot embers that are big, just pelting the side of anything until it starts on fire. And I was like, oh, that's how. I'm like, God, that's crazy.
I mean, it literally was the perfect storm.
Yeah,
it was the perfect condition you need to fuel fire.
And then I wonder how because I'm sure they're in talks about how to prevent this in the future. But there's so much like land around LA that it's like I forget.
The only thing I can think of is that you'd have to dig inroads. Like you would be digging levels of indentation in the actual geography of the Earth. So if something did catch fire, it would have it couldn't jump. But I don't even know if you could do that because the way the winds were set up.
Embers were traveling.
It could travel
a mile,
very long distances.
Yeah. You can't build a mile ditch wide or whatever.
You can't because it's too populous.
Yeah.
But it won't be because people will leave.
Yeah.
And then the rich people will rebuild. And as the chat room said, there are plenty of people that don't have the money to rebuild.
Yeah. Well, that was a narrative of like, oh, these people are rich. Who cares?
That's
but it's also like there's people who they still their house burned down.
Wolf, I saw Josh Wolf say that because I could see both sides. I could see the one side of like John Goodman lost his home. Okay, well, he's not going to want for anything. But also every memory he had is gone. So both can be true.
Yeah. Also, I like John Goodman.
I do too. I didn't like it when they're being mean. Don't be mean to John Goodman.
Yeah. It's no matter what, your house burns down. It's
I got a John Goodman question for you.
Yeah.
The way that we know John Goodman, because we both know him quite well.
Yeah.
You ever think he got a chance to get at it with Roseanne? For some reason, because he was doing that show when he was young and she was young and everything going on.
And she's nuts.
I just feel like they have.
Yeah. Some sort
and
of
we'll never know.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to say it, especially now that she's doing rap videos with alt-right rappers.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
I also don't like the new melty Goodman.
He lost weight.
Yeah. But he also older. So.
Well, here's the thing. You can either look like skinny and disgusting and healthier, or he could have been big and fat and looked great. But he's dying.
Yeah. Damn it. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Woo. That's a lot of recording.
Yeah, it was.